Hey everyone, think everything's live. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. It is day two of the presentation on state shifting, accessing internal resources for emotional well-being. Um, my name's Robert Slusarenko. It's nice to see you again. Hopefully, over the last couple days, you've had a chance to put into practice the technique that I was discussing on Tuesday, the state shifting anchoring method. What I'd like to do today is I'd like to kind of briefly review the technique that was shared a couple days ago. Um, Take it a little further, just new applications, new ways of using that particular technique. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. You can put them in the comments or message me personally. And then I'd like to shift gears a little bit and share an additional technique with you guys that moves into the realm of more creative, non-linear interventions. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. It is going to involve some internal focusing. So if you're watching this in an area where you don't have the chance to close your eyes, you may want to go into an area that's a bit more private. Definitely don't do this type of work when you're driving a car or anything like that. But yeah, I'm interested in how the anchoring technique, the state shifting technique, has been working for you. So if you weren't here on Tuesday, you can go back and review that live video, or we can go over really briefly the mechanics of this technique. Basically, what we're doing is accessing a relaxed state. For the purposes of our exercise, we were remembering a time in our lives that was calm and relaxing, and then linking that to a gesture. The gesture, it's arbitrary. As long as it has no meaning yet, you can use anything you'd like. I was sharing my personal relaxation anchor. When I make this gesture with my three fingers, I begin to feel more at ease. And really, this is a behavioral technique. It's classical conditioning, linking two things together. And hopefully, over the course of the presentation and implementing this in your own life, you can see some of the varied applications where this could become useful. Um, Having access literally at your fingertips to a state of calm, not only for yourself, but something you can share with the people in your life, your students, family members, etc. So being able to take that home with you and utilize it, that's the important part of all of these things. Any technique that someone's sharing, ideally you're able to personalize it a bit and make it your own, rather than it just being something that someone told you about. So have some fun with that technique, personalizing it, putting your own spin on it, seeing how applicable it is in others' lives and the spins that they put on it as well. It's something that can become very personal and unique. So just to get on the same page, let's do a round of state shifting, reaccessing that relaxation anchor. So I'll gently guide you through this process. If you already have your anchor established, fantastic. If you're still working on the conditioning cycles, well, this is perfect. We're going to do it again. So wherever you happen to be, go ahead and settle back. Allow your eyes to close. Begin to intentionally slow your breathing. Do whatever's necessary to become more focused on your present moment experience. And as you begin to allow yourself to unwind, search through your memory bank for an experience from the recent or distant past when you simply felt calm and relaxed. begin to engage with that memory as fully as possible. See what you saw, hear what you heard, until most importantly, you're able to feel relax now. And when you do start relaxing, make that gesture. Build the relationship this gesture means. Relax now. So that each and every time you make this gesture, you're able to access a deeper state of calm. Hold those together for a few moments, and then simply let go of that gesture, let go of the memory, allow your eyes to open and shift slightly in your seat just to break state. Pretty cool technique, right? It does take some repetition, it does take some practice to build the conditioning, but once you have that, it's a resource that you can go to literally for the rest of your life. Like I said in the last lesson, I've been doing this for 15 years, my personal relaxation anchor, and I can't say that it perfectly, takes away all the challenges in my life. Of course, that's not the case. But during moments of extreme stress, I've really relied on that technique to become more even keel. I hope you're able to utilize it as you move forward in your work and in your life as well. I'd like to shift into something that's a bit more non-linear, creative, perhaps even a bit more esoteric. So I wanted to give a brief introduction example of some of the primary work that I do with my clients in the realm of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Now, when people hear the word hypnosis, unfortunately but realistically, part of my job is to dispel myths about what that actually means. Because most people's mind goes to pocket watches or magic shows. It begins to conjure up something different than what we're going to be doing today. Generally speaking, when anyone is looking to make a change in their life, when someone's looking to learn something, change some belief or behavior, as human beings, we tend to believe that we defer to logic and reasoning to make those changes. This is what I want, whatever this is. All the evidence tells me that this is in my best interest. And more often than not, if this is what I want and the evidence is in line with that, then this is what I do. What becomes frustrating is when we reach scenarios where this is what I want, all the evidence tells me this is in my best interest, and yet I end up doing the exact opposite. Even though I know better. It's not that I don't understand logically what's happening, but despite, the evidence and my rationale, I go down these well-worn pathways over and over again habitually. From my angle of vision, that's telling me that there's something unconscious happening. There's some automatic beliefs or behaviors that are overriding our conscious desires. It's almost like if you go down to the ocean, standing on the beach, watching the waves rolling in from the sea. And all the waves are going in the same direction, for the sake of this analogy. All the waves are moving in unison. And they really are, it's true. The waves are moving in one direction. And yet, if you know what an undertow or a riptide is, beneath the surface, there's a completely different system, a different current going in the opposite direction. And that's very akin to what's happening in many of our lives. We have all these conscious desires, intentions, aspirations, yet more often than not, we're compelled by unconscious forces, not by logic and reasoning. We're compelled by emotion, imagination, associations that we've built over time, more non-linear processes. So hypnotherapy, what we're looking to do is we're looking to access and compel that part of the mind. When logic and reasoning and more linear, straightforward approaches haven't produced the results we're looking for, sometimes we have to go in the back door and try some more creative ideas. So I'd like to share a technique with you today whose aim is to access some internal resources to hopefully illuminate or shine some light on a question, challenge, issue, or problem you may be facing. This is a technique that I've used successfully with people from the age 7 to 70 and everywhere in between. So hopefully you'll find this beneficial not only in your own life, but something you can share with the people you come in contact with. So this is a two-part exercise. The first part of this exercise is beginning to develop an internal environment that is safe and relaxing. This technique in and of itself can become really useful for stress reduction, being able to maintain positive affect, and it's a general relaxation technique that you can tap into, similar to the anchoring technique. However, in that technique, you don't have to do the imagery or the visualization. You really just access that state from the gesture itself. This one is a little bit more involved as far as going into that relaxed state. This is something you can develop on your own, and we're going to take this for granted for a moment. So I'm just going to ask you consciously, if you were able to enter into an environment in your mind that is safe, relaxing, and that you can go solo. So no friends, no family members, just a place that you can be with yourself. Just consider where that might be. This could be a real place, an imagined place, a little bit of both. I always like to encourage choosing a natural environment, an outdoor environment, but that's not necessary. It could be indoors as well. So just consider where that place would be. And in a moment, I'm going to gently guide you into that environment of your choosing. And in that environment, I'd like you to consider, a question that you wish you had an answer to, a challenge that you'd like more insight into, some more illumination, something you'd like to understand a bit deeper. I wish I could be more specific than that, but that's going to be different for every one of you. So something that you might be currently struggling with, wanting some insight into. This has to be something about yourself, not about other people's intentions or what other people might be thinking. I can't teach you how to read someone else's mind. As far as I know, that's impossible. So it has to be self-contained. Consider that question or that challenge, and let's attempt to compel the mind to reveal something about that challenge. So wherever you happen to be, once again, go ahead and kick back, make yourself a bit more comfortable, and allow your eyes to close. Begin to intentionally slow your breathing. Let go of muscular tension in the body, especially in places that you tend to hold stress. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw muscles relax. Just taking a few moments to let go. And as you continue to breathe and relax now, in your mind's eye, take yourself to that safe and soothing environment. That place that elicits calm and relaxation. attempt to engage with that environment as deeply as possible. Allow all of your senses to engage with this place. Again, the sights you see, the sounds you hear, and especially the way it feels being in this safe and soothing place right now. A place to rest, a place to relax, a place to reflect and recharge. Take a few moments to simply enjoy being in this safe and soothing place now. And while you're here, I'd like to ask your creative, unconscious mind to introduce into this environment a being. A being that symbolizes wisdom and kindness. If the being that arrives is not both wise and kind, send it away. And allow a being that is both wise and kind to appear. And once this being has arrived, notice what it's like being in this being's presence. And when the time is right, in whatever way feels right to you, ask this being that question. Express that concern, that issue or challenge. Share that with this being. And give this being the chance to respond. Now that response may be crystal clear, like a word or a phrase, or it may be something more symbolic, like a feeling or a sound. Be open to however that being chooses to respond. Now, notice if that response is forthcoming or needs time. Once that being has shared whatever it's willing to share, I'd like you to express gratitude toward that being in whatever way seems right to you. Take the time you need to have that exchange, to ask, to receive, to express gratitude. And once you've personally finished that process, you can simply allow those images to fade and your eyes to open. Now, this process may be something that needs a bit more time to develop. It may be something that initially popped. Everyone has a slightly different experience. Obviously, it's a subjective process. But hopefully you're able to catch the gist here as well. The idea is that more often than not, once again, we defer to logic and reasoning, trying to think things through, trying to use our rationale, our conscious mind to solve problems. And oftentimes that works. Sometimes it does not. And using some of these more creative, non-linear approaches can oftentimes reveal some different answers or different solutions. Like I said, I've used this with my own children, my 8-year-old and 6-year-old, when they are challenged or overwhelmed. And I use this extensively in my private practice with individuals struggling with substance use disorders to access their own inner wisdom. Because at the end of the day, who's the being? Regardless of who showed up in your mind, the being is you. This is a symbol that your unconscious mind is generating, a symbol of wisdom and kindness that you're basically communicating with to receive some kind of direction or answer. We all talk to ourselves every day, didn't you notice? But usually when I'm talking to myself, it's like I'm talking to Robert in a very linear fashion, not like I'm talking to, some ancient wizard from the past or something. So oftentimes these symbols can impart a different message than we may otherwise connect with. So this is another way of talking to yourself through symbol, and also getting, perhaps your students to access different realms of their mind, to come up with new, interesting ideas and solutions and answers to the things they may be facing. So again, hopefully you're able to put your own spin on this, make it your own, not just something someone shared with you. And if you have any questions, anything that comes up that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear about your own experience with these techniques. I will repost the link to my Facebook group, Soul Life Revival, in the comments. I'd love to see you guys there. And it's been a real pleasure being able to share some of these techniques with you. I hope you have a happy holiday, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys soon.